After an accident at sea, we are happy to arrive in Indonesian waters. We have to keep a close eye on the fish attraction devices, and then we go through the process of checking in without an agent. Then we find a remote, secluded, beautiful cove where we set up shorelines to the beach and cut ourselves off from the world for a few days. After a 6-day passage from Thursday Island to Tual in Indonesia, we were greeted with many strange fishing structures. Some of them looked like complete floating homes and others were less obvious, so we were quite relieved to put our anchor down in the city of Tual.
Today, to celebrate us going to a new continent, I'm going to make some waffles for breakfast.
Homemade porridge.
It's not porridge, Daddy.
I'm just squash all the lumps.
Having waffles and bacon.
Hey, Ewan has made a nice breakfast after our 5.5-day passage. It's pretty good. We decided to check in to Indonesia without the use of an agent, so the first thing we did before we even arrived in the country was apply online for a tourist visa for 60 days, which was extendable. The next thing was to enter all our details onto the vessel declaration system. It's also online, and we had to even include a rough idea of the route we were going to take through Indonesia. And then, using No Foreign Land, one of my favourite apps, we found out where the dinghy dock was and all the offices that we had to go to check in.
Hi guys!
Hi! The dinghy dock wasn't really a dock as such. We had to tie up on the back of the Coast Guard boat. Then we had to hop over a couple of other Coast Guard boats and step on a massive, great big fender that kind of rolled as you stepped on it. You sort of have to do it quick, don't you, before you roll? Okay, so we've just been to Harbour Master and he just confirmed that we need to come back after we've been to health.
So what's this one?
I think this is quarantine because it's an ambulance. Checking into a country is different in every place, so I would suggest have all your paperwork with you, be very polite and very patient. This guy in the quarantine office wanted us to take him to our boat so he could check it, and then we had to pay him about $30 for that. Sometimes they don't come to your boat at all, and often they will come together with customs and immigration. Next we found the Customs and Immigration's office, and of course the customs officers also wanted to come out to our boat, but they didn't charge for this. In fact, there seemed to be a campaign going on at the time to stop the payments of any informal gifts or bribes. Once we were all checked in, it was time to gather up all our dirty washing and go and find a laundrette. Trying to get the laundry ashore was easier said than done. The final challenge was to get a SIM card for our phones. We couldn't get it at the local office, so we had to go to the large headquarters. I think it was because we were foreigners. Okay, so we're going to Telecom we're getting an object, which is the thing, over the bridge to go and get our SIM cards. It was quite a way away, so we got one of the taxi scooters called ojeks, and we headed off across the bridge. That was one of Woody's highlights, I think. Once this was all done, we were free to get some shopping, some fruits and vegetables, and get the small bus back to the port. And in the evening we treated ourselves to dinner out in a small restaurant by the water's edge. The next day we got some help with organising a car and a driver to show us the best places in Tual. Tual is located within the K Island on the southeastern part of Maluku. It's surrounded by the Banda Sea to the west and the Arafura Sea to the east. The region is part of the Coral Triangle, which has an incredible amount of marine biodiversity. The interior of the island had a lot to offer and the beaches were out of this world. These islands are also known as the Forgotten Islands, and because of how remote they have not been impacted by mass tourism yet.
I present to you the smallest coconut in the world. The actual husk was only like that big and the coconut is big.
So we've checked in and checked out. That was Tual. Not the most pleasant of places we've ever been to, but the people were friendly enough. I mean, there was an element of begging for cigarettes and money. A lot of people taking pictures of us as we walked through the town. So it is possible to do it in a day. The only fees we got charged were for bringing the biosecurity guys out, but seeing as they wouldn't give us a receipt, I kind of think that was more of a gift than a actual fee. So we got stung, but not badly, not half as much as we would if we'd gone through an agent.
Indonesian Navy, this is Mothership, go ahead.
Okay, what is your destination?
Our next destination will be Sirong, over.
So we're heading out towards Sorong now. I'm just going to keep an eye out because there are fishing vessels and fishing boats and floating rafts around the place.
Mothership, Indonesian Navy.
Indonesian Navy, this is Mothership, go ahead.
What is your gross ton? Gross
ton is 17 tonne, 17 tonne, over.
But hopefully we get to see some parts of Indonesia that's a bit more picturesque, less polluted.
Yeah, aboard our ship we have 4 people, over.
Fish attracting device.
Teatime, Mothership.
Other ship, Teatime.
Hello, how are you doing?
Good, not so fast, but yeah, at least sailing.
Yeah, I know, good. It's better than going 2 knots, I suppose. Just to warn you, we just passed a big structure, like a fish device thing. It's just floating around, so just keep an eye out. Yeah, just maybe mark it now on your chart where we are.
Okay, I will mark. Thank you very much for the heads up.
It's been fairly benign, the winds have been light, we've had a bit of current against us, so we haven't really been topping out over the 5 knots. It's really been around 3 or 4 knots. So it's been a bit long, laborious and a bit rolly. We've had the ballooner up, but unfortunately every time we get the balloon up something goes wrong. So this time it ripped, so we tried to get it down. We forgot to detach the de-hooker, tried to fill it away, and one of the prongs on the top of the swivel at the top of the mast broke off, pinged off the deck and went overboard. Night watchers have been a bit kind of a bit on edge because we've had a few fishing boats with lights and no AIS, and AIS and no lights. We had a few strange sort of floating vegetation islands. I'm not sure whether they're kind of temporary fishing rafts maybe, or just clumps of island that have broken away and floated off. But it's kept us on our toes, and particularly at night, you know, when you've basically got no visibility. The moon is pretty good in the second half of the night, but it's absolutely pitch black in the first half of the night. We've seen some lightning on the horizon, which is always worrying, but I don't think it's forecast to come anywhere close to here. We're going to go another 14 to 16 hours, which if we don't pick up soon, it means we're going to be arriving in the dark, which is never good around here because there's so many unlit fishing pots and fishing nets and buoys and things like that. So we've got to hopefully try and speed up tomorrow. I don't know how to do that. Hopefully the wind will pick up. I might have to motor a little bit, put some energy in the batteries, because the other thing is because we're travelling north in the southern hemisphere, it means that the solar panels are getting shadowed by the sails. So we're not putting much energy in, and because we're doing under 5 knots, we're not putting any in from the prop gen either. And I can't run the generator while we're underway because the suction effect of the boat going to the water prevents the cooling water going through the generator. So I can't do that either. We ran the water maker a little bit today, but again it was drawing quite a lot of energy, so we could only run it for about half an hour, and we should be there tomorrow. So we've woken up surrounded by fishing boats. I can see about 5, maybe 6, not a single one on the AIS, and not one of them sort of with lights or any sort of discernible flags. And there's lots of pots in the water as well. They kind of seem to have these low-lying buoys with these sort of flat rafts, wooden rafts that are strung off them, probably about 3 or 4 with strings between them. So we're kind of picking our way slowly. It's really difficult, so we just have no idea which way they're floating or what they're doing, and the fishermen are kind of all over the place. You know, one way they're sailing that way, one way they're sailing the other way. So it's a real nightmare. I mean, I don't know whether we just got lucky that it actually happened to be daylight when we came through here, or whether we've just been blindly sailing through it in the middle of the night. But we're kind of at risk of jibing at the moment. We got one ahead. It is not on AIS. We're just trying to figure out way to go, because he's pointing in our direction, but I don't think he's actually moving, so we don't know if he's pulling nets or anything.
But this is my favourite ballooner, the mizzen ballooner, because it's just so easy to get it up. Nothing really ever goes wrong on it, and easy to get down again, and gives us an extra actual whole knot, so it's really cool. Because we're still trying to get to this bay called Turtle Bay, dodging fishing pots and dealing with current against us and not much wind, but it's been really nice actually, I would say. You know, it's been like, this is the second night, this is the second morning, and actually the sailing's been alright really. Nothing too much, nothing too tiring, just slow. So we've just got another of these flags and fishing devices. I think we're going to need a lot of these in Indonesia. This is our introduction to it. Okay, so suddenly we've got this massive squall and it looks like it's not going to stop. But as quick as the squall arrived, the squall disappeared, and soon we'd arrived in Turtle Bay. Turtle Bay is a small circular cove, so not really enough space for even one boat to swing on anchor, never mind two. The solution is to do a kind of medmore with using your anchor to hold your boat forwards and a shoreline to hold it backwards. So the way this is done is you reverse back towards where you want to have your boat positioned, you drop your anchor out at the front, and then you tie a rope to your stern and take it to shore and find a tree or something to tie it onto. And so therefore you've got your anchor holding your boat forwards and you've got a stern line that is holding your stern, and your boat should stay in position. There was only 2 of us in the bay, but effectively using this method you could raft up a whole line of boats.
So we've arrived in a bay which the cruisers have dubbed Turtle Bay because there's loads of turtles here. It's beautiful. It's just kind of like this little kind of green cove which is really sheltered from the wind, and we've had to stop here because basically we've run out of wind and we haven't got enough to carry on.
This was a perfect bay, but also a perfect place to do a quick maintenance job. In this case, we wanted to tighten up our backstays. All the kids spent most of their time hanging out on the beach. They found loads to do, and apparently the hermit crabs were fascinating. Thank you for watching our videos. If you love these adventures and you would like to thank us, then you can simply click on the Super Thanks button below. If we have now inspired you, I suggest you head over to Patreon and sign up to our page. Here you can find out so much more and we can talk to you directly. I mean, some of these things, the way that seeds travel and replant themselves is amazing. I mean, the shapes of them as well, they don't look real. And these flowers that we've seen here, these beautiful flowers, they kind of dropping from this tree and they just drop in the water. And they're really pretty. What else is amazing about here? The other thing I noticed is that how obviously things are washed up here and then they wash out and then they start to sort of root and start to grow, like this coconut. Apparently they can survive like 2 months or something, the seeds floating around. So it's come up, washed up, and it's got roots growing in it, and that is growing into a coconut tree. There's a lot of turtles in this bay, and so we think it's probably a turtle nesting site as well. And you can see, like from the sand here, how you can see that is probably turtles nesting. So we had a little look, and here we can see loads of old eggs that have opened up. So that looks like it's probably from a turtle, and maybe that's a nest. I mean, there might be some more eggs in there, but whether they've naturally hatched or whether it's something else, because in the night we hear this really loud noise of some kind of creature, like it's banging something, and you see the sand being moved up, and we think maybe that there's a tree kangaroo or something in here and it's digging up the eggs. We decided to head into the forest to investigate further. And we're now in the middle of the jungle, and there's a swamp, which is just where the crocodiles like to hang out, so I don't really want to go any further. The sad thing about here is that there's rubbish washed up as well, so like plastic everywhere.
We thought it was kind of unspoilt, but then this morning we had some fishermen come in and dropped the nets, and it was all kind of very lovely and idyllic. And then they just dumped a load of plastic bags over the side of the boat and then sped off, and now the bay is just covered in plastic bags. And this is kind of this pristine environment. There's like absolutely nobody here, and there are plastic bags everywhere. I don't know what to think, you know. I know these guys are living on a subsistence wage, and you know, you kind of feel sorry for them, but the amount of plastic waste in this place is just astronomical, and they're just adding to it on a daily basis, and it's just heartbreaking to see these beautiful places spoiled.
But we're just trying to gather it and put it into one place, really. So we can't really take it all with us because we've kind of haven't got enough space. But the next best thing is we've kind of created a makeshift container where hopefully it will all stay and won't go into the water and won't get in the way of the nesting turtles.
What happened?
So I was just doing yoga, and then I thought, oh, we're going to get some rain, so I thought I'd put the water catcher out. But and then the rain obviously came with a squall, a lot of wind, and our boat's like moving quite a lot to the right. We've probably moved about half a boat length to the starboard towards Teatime, getting a bit closer. But I mean, it's very deep, so I don't know how much that anchor's actually dug in. You know, it could just be the weight of the chain that's holding us out, but because it's just such a steep drop. So we pulled up a bit of chain because we did have quite a lot out, and maybe that was partly why we moved.
Turtle Bay really was a dream location, but I think the squall probably snapped us out and got us planning our route to our next destination.
3, 2, 1.
So stay tuned for our next episode for more adventures and an exciting visit from a guest that you all know very well. So stay tuned for more adventures as we sail around the world. If you want to find out how to fix your boat, go to our Mothership Maintenance channel, and if you've got any questions you want to ask us, join our Patreon family.
Things may come to be, you and me, we're family.